Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified that I think many of us have been waiting for. And that is General Hawk. Now, yes, if you saw the Shockwave video, you know I made a little rib at him being from Colorado, because you know what, they have that arrogant hockey team up there, you know, with Pat Roy used to play, and Claude Lemieux. But we're now on to this guy, the leader of the Joes. I don't care if you can say anyone else. This is the leader of the Joes. A matter of fact, even when he was Colonel Hawk in the 80s, I always looked at him as the G.I. Joe leader because I hated Duke. Anyway, now we have this guy in classified form, and we're going to compare him to my original Hawk. That I don't have his backpack or his gun. I do have his helmet, though. At least I think it's his helmet. If not, then someone will correct me. So anyway, let's take a look at this thing here. And here you have him in his, what I believe is like a World War II jacket. I know some people have kind of nitpicked it, that it's more of, I believe, an Air Force jacket. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be. But again, it doesn't matter. This is G.I. Joe. It's the lore of G.I. Joe. And in the sky, we have what a lot of people say is version 3 Hawk, I believe. I'm assuming that it's supposed to be a version of his uniform, his outfit, whatever he has. So anyway, here's all the weapons that he has. Again, we're going to be going away from this plastic-free packaging, which I think is absolutely wonderful. You got the awesome side art. We got the QR code that leads to the black hole. And then you have a file card if you want to try and figure it out. On the back here, we have the height of the actual figure, which I've mentioned numerous times, that I absolutely love it. You have his little Yo-Joe right there with the G.I. Joe logo, which is a newer logo. You got his helmet and everything. So looking at everything here, he looks pretty good. And he's 6.3 inches. So I don't know. Someone keeps saying that they keep getting shorter and shorter and shorter and that they're small. But I don't know where these are such small action figures. So anyway, let's get into this. Let's not look at this because we've looked at this more than enough. But before we do, if you like the content that I'm giving you, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I do drop a G.I. Joe video. Now let's get to this because I have really wanted to open this figure up and see how he looks. Okay, General Clayton Abernathy is out. I think I said it wrong. Hawk, that's what we can call him because that's how we all know him. So anyway, here is the coffin. And this one actually looks really good. I believe a pretty good homage to the original card art. But I think it looks good. Again, after looking at Helix, I have a hard time thinking one's going to get better than that. Helix just looked really good. Here we have the locker. I'll be so glad when these are gone. I'm not going to go over it anymore. Although I think I only have Ripper left. So, alright, let's see what he comes with. So, here we have his helmet. Showing that he's a 1-star general. I do believe that he goes up in rank as the line goes on. Now, it is pliable, so you could actually put it on other characters. Let's say he gets killed in the field and someone needs to throw a helmet on. Or you need a decoy because you don't want your general getting shot in the field. He's got 2 sets of goggles. Okay. The smaller ones actually go around his head. Okay. And they look pretty good. These ones here go around the helmet, so you're not worried about stretching these out and then them not fitting or breaking. We have CoverGirl's shotgun. Now, this is all one color. I would have loved to see this have a brown, brown here, just something different. Again, it's a shotgun. You see different browns on a lot of shotguns. It has a slight bend to it, not the worst, but again, a complaint because we've had so many issues. Now, it is pliable, but I don't mind if it's, this is how soft it is. I'd like it to be harder. That's what she said. But I can deal with this if we can get it to stay straight. Again, looking at the detail of it, it looks pretty good. You can see where he's going to cock it. So it is nice. You got different designs on both sides because of this. So they didn't chintz out there, but it really would have been nice had it had a little bit of color to it. Now, I don't understand why he would have a grenade launcher. There is another big G.I. Joe YouTuber that thought this was a shotgun when it came with Gung Ho. If you know who I'm talking about, please don't listen to him. Anyway, again, no paint. It'd be nice just to have a little bit of paint apps on it. Now, I'm hoping this will go on around him better than it goes on around Gung Ho. Gung Ho is just such a big buck that when you try and fit it around his arm, it does not stay there. It moves around. But the detail looks nice. They both have ports for blast effects. Now, this here, I really wish they'd make some sort of like special blast effect because it is a grenade launcher. And then we come to his two handguns. So he's got this gun, which is this the one that we saw? I think we saw this one with Snow Job. I'm not sure what type of pistol it is. If it's a made-up one, it looks nice. It kind of looks like experimental. Like it could pass as a laser pistol, but it also could pass as a regular pistol. You could say this is a built-in suppressor if you wanted to. And maybe it actually is. If you know, in the comments, please tell me. But I think this looks really nice. Again, it's always nice to have paint apps, but when you have a small pistols like this, you can get away with it. Because you're not going to see very much because it is so small. Here we have the extended magazine. And this one looks also nice. So I'm glad that they gave him two pistols, or at least one pistol, because, again, he is a general. And for the most part, let's be honest, that's what they're going to use, if they have anything. All right. Ooh, we need to move him up. Well, move this up. So here we go, and this is the Dan Larson figure. Now, looking at it in person, it doesn't look as much like Dan Larson, but you still get the Dan Larson vibes, even how the hair is. Now, looking through my lens here on my phone, it's hard to see. I have a feeling that when you're looking at everything, it'll look pretty good, but real nice paint in the hair. The hair has nice texture to it. If there's one figure that needs to have no QC issues, it should be this guy. And hopefully, it won't. I need to take my glasses off so I can see a little bit better. But looking at the eyebrows, it looks good. Eyes are good. That face is, I mean, that is a stern general right there. Here you have his holster that goes over his big old jacket. Let's check out his articulation. Well, that's not good. I mean, but, all right. So, those are weird. This is weird. Okay, so the drop down, wow. So the way these things go is they drop down. And I was pushing up, so I popped it out. Now, there's the socket. Let's try this again. Now, if they pop off, kind of like Motu stuff, it's not that big of a deal. If they just pop right back in. So, this seems different than other figures. And what I mean by that is, oh boy. Let's grab Beachhead here. And so if you look at Beachhead, when you lift him up here, like that's how his T-pose goes. When this figure goes up here, I don't think this is a QC issue, and I know people are going to say, oh, you're a shill, but listen, you see how this one just goes straight up. You can see how the butterfly joint is. Looking at this one here, it looks like they redesigned it. So, his shoulder actually moves up when you bring it down. So, you're actually dropping it down, like the drop-down hips, and then you move it into place. See that? So, that is unique. I don't know I've ever seen a figure. I don't know I ever seen a figure. What? I've been watching way too much of Kim's Convenience that you're getting me to talk like that. So look at that. So to get them in the T-pose, you drop down their arms, their shoulders, and then you pull them up. So that is not an actual QC issue, but that is a new way that they designed this. Very unique. Without knowing that, people are going to be knocking these arms off, flipping out about it, and that's going to be disappointing because I don't believe that's a QC issue. So, you have your bicep swivel. You have your double pinless joints, wrist swivels. Now, again, he is right out of the box. He's been in my house now for a few hours, so he's had time to warm up. Where I can tell you right now, when I did... See, it is weird, but it is how he moves. When I did do Shockwave, he was still pretty cool. He was right out from the mail. So he's got the belly dancing, is what I like to call it here, which actually looks decent other than this kind of breaks apart. I'd rather have the ab crunch on this figure. He has the waist swivel. His Jean-Claude Van Damme isn't all that great, but he does have drop-down hips. You got your thigh swivel, double pinless knee joints, your boot cut, and then your ankle rockers. Again, I like these boots. I wish they would have done this with Shockwave rather than go back to the beachhead body, because I don't like those legs, which I've already discussed. So again, no heat was needed for this. And again, if you need to use heat, it's not a big deal. So I don't want anyone to be like, oh, look, that's what he said. Look, you didn't need to use heat. Heat is part of the game. And if anyone says, that shouldn't be like that, my O-rings weren't, well, guess what? O-rings were made in the 80s. Get over it. All right. Sorry, guys. I don't feel that well, and here I'm doing these videos. That's why I might sound kind of stuffy. So let's compare the two really quick. So he has this Yo-Jo on the side. It's just very, very basic. It's the star. And on the side, he has the United States flag. Yes, the United States. Not the American flag, the United States flag. Anyway, something that he didn't have here. Now, I'm going to assume he has all his medals underneath here. But here you can actually see them because you can remove them and they look really nice. Now, I know some people, I believe, have already pointed out that they're the wrong ones. And I'm like, come on, guys. G.I. Joe, stop this. Up on the collar, which he had the collar on both of them, right? Except they gave it the nice color that looks like it's nice and soft and fuzzy. You got Abernathy there. He has his insignia right there, which is his rank, which I believe is the 1-star general. Now, looking at this one, it's hard to tell, but I'm willing to bet that's the exact same. But the bomber jacket looks pretty close. Here you have a look at the belts, and you have silver. They kind of did this a goldish, but it has the exact same emblem on it. Here, his pistol hangs further down on his leg. This is going to be more holstered onto his side. I'm perfectly fine with that. You have your camouflage pants, and then you have your black boots. Now, these ride up a little bit higher, but I'm fine with it. I think it looks really nice. Again, they pretty much remade this figure and just gave you a few extra accessories. And even looking at his face here, I think they made the hair look way better. Where this is, well, we've all had this hair when we've woken up and our hair is at a length that it just doesn't work. Anyway, there you go. They gave him gloves rather than just bare hands, which I've heard a lot of people complain about not having extra hands. I wouldn't mind a few extra sets of hands, but I don't need 8 hands in every set. So let's throw his helmet on here, which looks kind of weird without the goggles on it. And then let's grab the big goggles. I'm going to throw it up top here. And again, what's kind of cool is if you look, that 1 star is going to show up. So he has goggles here. This helmet always seemed really bulky to me, but I guess you'd want it to be a little bit thicker to protect your noggin in a firefight. So, all right, let's armor him up. Now, looking at the size of his holster, I'm going to assume the bigger pistol is going to drop down in there. And then you have the smaller pistol that goes up here. Now, it is nice. Let's say you don't want to have him with a side pistol, because does he really need it other than this figure has it? Well, you can take it off. You got a nice looking bomber jacket that he's walking around in. God, this is a figure that definitely needs the helmet. I mean, he looks awesome without it, but he's just so iconic with that helmet that I think this is one you have to be walking around with it. Here we have the grenade launcher, and we'll kind of throw it up here. And I can say, yeah, it definitely does fit a little bit better. Now, the strap is just so big that when you want to move his arm, let's say you want to cross it, it's not going to work. Oh, I also forgot, I guess this here. Straight up and back. Some people have mentioned that I don't really mention that, and they're correct. I kind of forget. So you're not going to be able to cross him over and use any bit of the butterfly joints. And I'm not really sure how well these butterfly joints will work. As you can see, once again, they do not cross over. Like, you cannot get your hands together like some other lines of figures that do it really well. And Zaymot and Tomax do a really good job of doing it also. But all this stuff is going to get in the way. But the fact that this is not a secondary, that this is just a one-time unique jacket, I don't know what else I can use it for other than different Hawks. And I literally just reached up to grab my glasses and move them. Guess what I'm not wearing? My glasses, because they're right here. So we throw the goggles on him. Let's see how he looks. So it goes over pretty nice. I don't really need the goggles. Now this would be good for maybe some action shots. And pop this right down here. And he just doesn't look as much of a badass with them on. All right. So let's take our shotgun, see how well we can throw this in his hand. Now looking at him here, quickly I'll mention this here. So he is using Zaymot and Tomax's hands, and I know that because they're broken up. Where most of the trigger fingers, these fingers are together and you only have this one. Zaymot and Tomax are broken up so you can hold two different types of knives in there. So we really shouldn't have any issues putting a weapon in his hand. There we go. So again, this is all in time and how long it's going to take you to get this figure out and just quickly do a pose. You know, are you going to have to spend hours getting a decent pose? I'm going to say you're probably not, because this guy here, look at that right there. Nice shotgun pose. Lost one of my my goggles to the floor. Look at that. Now, yeah, I got to fix the hand here before someone says, you don't have the hand on properly. So look at that. And he does stand. And that was on a quick look at it right there. Again, I got to mention, this drop, like, this is not a QC issue. That arm popping off is not a problem. That is how it's supposed to, from what I can tell. Before anyone says, you're a shill saying that, no. Again, this is like something I've never seen before. I think this is kind of what Shartimus wanted to do, but with more. So again, like, it's going to pop down, and then you move it up. And then you get a really nice T-pose. Then when you bring it back down, you kind of pop it back up. So very unique. It would have been nice had this been something they explained it to us. But yeah, just have to be careful with that. Hope everyone actually sees that and is takes care of that. Anyway, let's wrap this up. All right, so my final first thought on Hawk is I think he's absolutely awesome. I love the design. I don't see any QC issues. And yes, the arm popped off, but that's because it's like drop down shoulders. It's unique. And you can say what you want. You watch me move them up and down to extend them. So yeah, they are going to pop up if you just try and extend them like you normally do. So just be aware of that. But other than that, he looks really nice. Weapons, maybe a little bit softer than I would like, but not that bad. A little bit of a slight curvature to him, but everything else to this figure, just perfect. And you got to send it out to them. This is a figure that needed to be perfect because he is the leader of the G.I. Joe team. All right, so there you have it. That's my G.I. Joe General Hawk review. I like this figure. Right off the box, I think he's amazing. I really do. And I needed some good news. I mean, I'm not feeling well. Coach Harbaugh got suspended from the Big Ten because he cheats, but I don't care because I want Michigan to win a national championship. That's all that matters to me when it comes to Michigan football. It's going to be harder now. Anyway, you guys don't want to hear about football. But yeah, check this figure out. I mean, if you like him, if you're into this, I think you're really going to like this figure. And again, the drop down shoulders are something very unique, and you gotta watch out for them. So anyway, I am gonna get out of here, but before I do, if you're on social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, A Punk with Toys, jump over there, hit follow, hit subscribe, whatever it is. The Facebook group page, Punks with Toys, because once you're a punk, I don't know. I can't remember. Like I said, I don't feel well. Anyway. And last but not least, if you like everything that I've been giving you, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I do drop a G.I. Joe classified video. And there's a whole bunch coming, still a whole bunch coming. Ripper is the only one in this wave that I don't have, and in all honesty, I feel like I'm not going to have him for a while. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, but don't go anywhere. Up here is a link to the Shockwave video that I just did. And down here is a playlist to all the classified videos. Have a wonderful day.